Welcome to Oregon Voters Digest, the program that brings forward the social and political issues that are important to people living here in the Pacific Northwest. And now, your host, Bruce Broussard.
Welcome again to the Oregon Voters Digest. I'm Bruce Broussard, your host, and by George, as I indicated before, and the shows that you're going to always see, this year, 2026, is going to be talking about educating the public. And it's going to be on education. Very, very, very important. Educating our history, our activities. What are we doing? How are we doing things? It's going to be awesome. Assimilation. These are some heavy words, and I tell you, I got a star person here sitting at the table with me. I've gotten to know through her involvement in the parade. In the parade, it was a beautiful, beautiful piece. Juneteenth parade. That was about the history of this country.
Absolutely.
The history, when you think about the Civil War, that was the history of it. How many people know about that piece? How many people know about the association? How many people know who Abe Lincoln was all about? And the flag, that flag was saved by people of color, black folks. Black folks, that's right. Before that, they were called slaves because they were being traded up in Africa. And they came to this country. And they worked it. Nobody could work in that climate. It was all about money. So they just used the body. In fact, if Eli Whitney hadn't gotten that cotton gin, black folks might have owned the whole place.
Yeah.
Because that's what Lincoln did. That's what that was all. It was about economics. But nobody could work in that environment. See, so it's an education piece, and you understand. I'm talking from the standpoint that I've picked up a PhD just looking at YouTube because the history is there.
It is,
but we don't teach it in our school system, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of things that we can talk about that. But I just want you to know, it's so much. It's a powerful entity, and it's an inclusive entity. It's an assimilation aspect of it, because poor whites were sent to this country initially. Mm-hmm. They were the slaves from Britain.
Yes.
And it's all sitting up there in that education piece. So I'm not going to go any further because I've got someone here that really is going to take this ball, and we're going to keep her on an ongoing basis because that's where she's at. She's an educator. She's an educator. I mean, she represented that flag. I mean, she represented Clara people. She got it. That's how I met her. I met her through Clara people. Clara's not with us, but she is with us now. And her names and her kinfolks are a part of that piece. But my point is that she's a beautiful person, and I've participated and continue to participate in the Juneteenth parade because it's about the flag. That's why I wear the flag. I wear that flag proudly as a black American. And we can't play this business about going backwards.
No.
It ain't going to happen. Trust me, it ain't going to happen. So look, now you've gotten the introduction, and what I'm going to be doing is that with her, from the future, once a month, she's going to have her show, the Oregon Voters Digest, talking to communicating and education.
Yes.
And tell you about all the activities that she's involved in, and it's all about educating, getting us on board. And it'll build this city up, too, as a result of that. The city of Portland, and we'll basically be able to send that back with our congressional delegation.
Yes.
And Ron Wyden and those guys, they sit at the table when he's sitting down there with the president and say, this is what we're doing in Portland now. The history we have with you is not a good one. Well, we'll tell you, we want to talk to you now so we can get back to business. City of Roses and all the other good things, and build it with people and community. So I'm here to tell you, Heather
Yep.
is here, Heather Coleman. She's the one, got me involved, and I'm back involved, and I will be there with her. And we're going to communicate as much as we possibly can with that. Heather, welcome again.
Thank you so much for having me, Bruce.
Gee, by George. Now, she's got another big thing of it. She just got elected.
Yes.
Was just elected to the school board of Gresham.
Yes, Gresham Barlow School Board.
Gresham.
Yes.
Gresham Bar. See, I don't know. We might be able to go pick it up. We might. annex it to Portland. That's the way things are going nowadays.
Hey, you never know.
But she's there. She's here.
Yes.
She's here in our area still, and still doing many other activities. I hate to put it that way, but I had to throw it that way. But Heather is an awesome person.
Thank you.
She's in all kinds of things, and you can appreciate what she's going to be doing, because I'm just going to be basically giving her the opportunity to educate you the people, and especially our young people. She brought one of her grandkids with her today. You're going to see this young man. Come on here, young man. Come here for a minute. Come on over here. We got to show him before to let him know let him know why it's so important. Can you get in here a little bit more? There you go. Tell him your name. Tell him your name.
Zion.
What is it?
Zion Williams.
Diane Williams?
Zion Williams.
Zion Williams. Boy, Grandma bought you a nice outfit too, didn't she? Isn't that nice? Well, all right. Well, that's what this is all about.
Yes, it is our future.
This is our future. Okay.
Yes.
He's going to now. Grandma brought him over, and he's looking at the show.
Yes.
And he's going to be sitting up there listening to what we have to say.
And learning.
So that's what it's all about, learning.
Yes.
That's what we're starting from. We're starting, and it's here.
Yes.
Okay? Thanks for being with us, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now, look at it. Well, you got a lot on your mind.
Yes.
Let's talk. Let's first get, for the masses standpoint, tell me a little bit about the fact that you're now sitting on the Gresham School District.
Yeah, so as you indicated, in January of last year, I decided that I wanted to get more involved with the community. I'm 3 years young to the Gresham area because I spent most of my time growing up in Portland, right? And my husband and we bought a house out that way. So I planted myself there and just started getting busy with community, right? And decided that I wanted to run for the school board because I have grandchildren that I'm raising that are in elementary school, right? Mm-hmm. So in order just to be able to really contribute to their education from behind the scenes, right? The school board is an amazing place to be. Now, I want to make it clear that the school board does not manage the day-to-day operations in the school. That is the superintendent. The teachers, the principals, and day-to-day operations belong to the superintendent. However, the superintendent is what we govern. We govern the superintendent. So it's a trickle-down effect, right?
Wow. What are some of the issues that you're going to be?
The biggest issue right now, believe it or not, is not money. Money is definitely, budget is a huge issue.
Right.
Absenteeism
Wow.
across the whole country.
Wow.
Children are not going to school.
Wow.
So that is what the biggest primary issue in public education right now is absenteeism.
What's happening with these? What's happening with it?
Well, a lot of studies have been conducted, and it's they have proven that when children like their teacher, because you can recall probably,
Yes.
I'm sure, some
very
teachers
much
that
so.
made impressions on you.
Yes.
So when we have educators in there that are really focused on the children, there to make a better life for the children gravitate to those, right? But then we have some educators in there that are not that way. And so right now, according to the statistics, there may not be enough educators that are encouraging the children to want to learn, or either have the ability to give them the tools that they need to learn, or not giving the curriculum that is advantageous, that gets their interest, that keeps them excited, that makes them want to come to school. So absenteeism is the number one issue across the country with schools, with public schools.
Wow.
Yes.
You know, the person that comes to mind briefly with Portland Public School was Matt Prophet.
Yeah, Dr. Prophet.
Dr. Prophet was an awesome individual. You know, and he was just very much in love with kids and always projected himself that way and would react to whatever. And teachers were different, if you will, during his era. because he
Yes.
was concerned with what the point that you had made.
Yes.
You know, so it has to come from the top on down.
Yeah, it's a trickle down.
Situation aspect of it. I made mention about that too in regards to at one point in time the superintendent was kind of the chair of the school board
Yes.
in Portland, and a lady by the name of Elaine Cogan was one of their lobbyists, if you will, and I saw this and I was concerned about the superintendent being the chair.
Yeah, that's
And I made mention
double
to
dipping,
her.
right?
I made mention to her, and she thought it was right. Bruce, yeah, it should be the chairman of the school. It should be the people chair, and they changed it, and it's changed to date. They still have issues, but the fact it's different.
Yeah.
And so it always starts at the top.
Yes.
Has to reflect accordingly. And then the superintendent there was, no due respect, an employee of the people.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
So there's a difference between an employer and an employee, right?
Yes.
The employers are the voting people, the public, the moms and the dads,
Yeah.
and then the employers are, if you will, the public.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yeah,
Okay, I
that's
just want to
fair.
stop you just for a moment, just for that piece. But anyway, you're saying that's the issue right now. So is that the discussion now at the school board now? The major.
It's not the only
Got other
discussion.
things, yes.
I don't want to simplify the fact that the budget is
Yeah,
definitely,
you gotta-
cuts are like it's chop
Yeah,
suey in
yeah,
there, right?
yes.
And so that is definitely an issue as well. But absenteeism is right up there. Absenteeism. We have got to figure out, because it all works together. The number of students that you can prove are enrolled, then you get more money.
Yes, right. Exactly.
Okay,
It's
so
about
if
numbers.
your enrollment
It's numbers,
drops,
yes.
then your money is going to drop,
Wow.
and then your services are going to drop. So it all works together. I think if we could focus on getting kids to stay in school, to get excited about school, to stay in school, to want to learn, give them the curriculum that excites them, curriculum that they can use when they leave school, because I think there's some things that are being taught that we won't ever use as an adult, right? So if we could be more focused on what is the curriculum that's going to prepare this child, whether they want to go to college or whether they just want to do a trade. What is that curriculum that we can put in the schools, in the classrooms, to keep these kids excited and keep them coming to school? Because like you said, the number of enrollment, how much that counts to how much money you get, right? So it all works together. I was recently appointed to the Legislative Policy Committee for my area, position number 17 for Multnomah County. So I will be going down to Salem, and I will be a part of that legislation that has directly to do with funds and in all of these different things for the school, because I'm going to advocate tremendously for Title 13 and Title 14 schools. Those are the schools that get the federal dollars, and there's all these different equations, right, that I'm learning about. It's amazing how they do these figures and these equations. And so all of that, it needs exposure, right? People need to understand how this is done, and I want to be a voice to bring this to the public, so really where your tax dollars are going, how they're breaking up and allocating funding. It's a formula, and formulas need to change, right? As the community changes, the formula cannot. We can't put the same formula from 100 years into 200 years later. Things are going to change. So the formula needs to change. The formula needs to be reconfigured, or the ingredients need to be remeasured, right? So that's going to be a part of the advocacy that I get to do in that legislator policy committee. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, in all due respect, that's why I'm suggesting that you're here once a month for an hour that you can share. You'll be on more than 3 minutes
Yes.
and more than 5 minutes. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's very important.
Yeah, it
Just to
is. I
communicate to
want
the
people to understand this.
because the voting public needs to know, because they're the taxpayers. They're the one that are putting monies in the pot aspect of it, and they're asking now, where's my money going?
Yes.
They're constantly hearing about, we give you all this money, and these kids they're not being educated.
Yes.
And now they're trying to, in all due respect, they're talking about a race issue in the Portland area, talking about the reason why we've had such a poor standing as far as the Portland public schools because of the blacks.
Well, that's
Because we had the poor school, and that's sad
Yeah,
to
it's
say
very
that.
sad.
And then they're getting all the money. You see,
Yes.
so and I'm not trying to divide this thing. I'm just saying it's an issue.
Yes, for
And
sure.
a kid is a kid.
Yes.
They're the futures, and we got to make sure that, and it's going to be, that's why it's going to be it's going to be very important that you're able to sit down and educate folks, even educate some of the folks that are on that committee.
Yeah.
Because many of them are just thinking about that money.
Yes.
See, and you can do all kinds of things for money.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And that's where we are. That's one of the problems we're having now all across the board.
Yes,
You got me?
for sure.
I mean, our representatives think that they're employers as opposed to employees. We have a problem with that.
That
and so
is.
that's why we need to spend more time on that piece aspect of it. So I really appreciate the fact that you're going to be sitting on that committee.
Yeah.
And then this vehicle will work for you.
Yeah, this
and,
will.
And will get the word out.
Yeah,
Got
because
me?
that's what, there's a lot of information that does not get transferred, right? It stops. So the people at the bottom, per se, not, the people at the bottom are not getting the information
Exactly.
that helps them to make better choices. So if you don't have a full picture, you can't make an informed decision. So that, I want to bridge that gap. I want to put that information out there so people are very informed about decisions that are being made, about votes that
Yes.
they can make.
Yes,
So
yes. And see, and like you said, rightfully so, another major concern for 2026 is that our focus is going to be on those elected seats,
yes,
educating the people about these are employees,
yes,
and then maybe change some of their so-called definition in terms of how we select these folks.
I just think people need to be informed.
That's right. Identify the issues,
Yes,
then tell the people now it's open for deal.
yeah,
What do you have? Document it. You don't have to share it to the public at large because you're running for the office, but you got to clearly respond
yes,
to the issues that are listed, let's say the 3 major items.
yes.
You know what I mean? So when you file to run for office, then the media can take off
Yeah.
and interview you the correct way.
Yeah.
Not no 3-minute slots. Very important.
Yeah, it
Because
is.
we got some very educated people out there, but they're afraid to run. They don't want to run.
Well, one barrier for that is that they don't know how
don't know.
to run,
Yeah,
right?
that's the other issue.
And so what I did, I made a PowerPoint of all the steps that it takes to fill out your intent to run,
Wow.
what forms you need to fill out, what the fees are, what you need to do. I put all of this together
Wow.
because I want to encourage just regular people to run. Because if you don't have a seat at the
Right.
table,
That's right. Hey.
you're on the menu,
Hey, that's
right?
That's right.
If you don't have a seat at the table, you are on the menu. So I want to see more regular community people
Wow.
sitting at the table, understanding this legislation, understanding how this whole entity works, digesting it, what is it, dissecting it.
Yes, right. I really appreciate what you're saying now, because it gives me justification in terms of how I approach politics. I've run it numerous of times, but I was only interested in the primary,
Okay.
and I voted, and I signed off on the last day.
Okay.
And that
That's
meant,
a strategy.
Yes, because I knew that someone within that group was going to be elected,
Okay.
and I knew that person.
Okay.
And I knew the kind of person that would be elected. If he didn't have any money, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then at the same time, it was about power and money.
Yes, it
It
is.
wasn't about the issues.
No.
You got me? So I've done that through the years. And so here I sit, I've run in practically every major office in the state of Oregon.
Okay.
Only in the primary,
Okay.
purposely. Now I'm ready.
Okay.
But now you got all kind of deal, old and young, all that kind of good stuff. But the bottom line is that but what you were saying is very, very important. We got to change, even on the political thing. We got to change too. Mm-hmm. It's not people going to Congress and going to D.C. and you Google their name and they're all millionaires.
Right.
And then people talk about it, but they don't do nothing about it.
Exactly.
See, so we're at that point in time. We're going to change that. I'm not talking about people need to return the monies and this, that, and the other, but we got to change our format.
Yeah.
We're the only country like this, the only country in the world like this.
Mm-hmm.
And if we lose it, we got real problems.
Exactly.
Okay.
We have to change, like you said. We can't do something. We can't take the model from 100 years
That's
ago
right.
and still implement it 100 years
That's
later.
Right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
And speaking of 100 years, let's segue
Yes.
into this Black History
Talk to
Month.
me. Yes.
Black History commemorations.
Yes, okay.
So, this February marks 100 years
100 years.
of
Very
Black
important.
History commemorations in this country.
Wow.
Now, this is an amazing, exciting time in our country. This is American history.
American history.
It's American
Right. That's
history
right.
all day long.
That's right.
All
Big
day
time.
and all
Big
night.
time. Big
It
time.
is American history
Yes.
that is focused on us. In 1926, historian Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who happened to be the second African American to graduate from Harvard, he wanted to find a way to recognize all of the contributions that African Americans made to this country that was not being documented, right? Because our contributions were not documented.
No.
They weren't talked about. I mean, there's so much that I learn every day that I delve into that. So what he did was he started Black History Week. He chose the month of February in honor of President Abraham Lincoln, whose birthday is February 12th, and orator Frederick Douglass, who selected February 14th because we know that he did not know what day he was born. He only knew that he was born in February and that his mother made him a cake in the shape of a heart. Wow. So he adopted February 14th as his birthday. So in honor of those two amazing individuals, he used February as the week to start Black history. Well, we went 50 years, and in 1976, President Gerald Ford expanded that week to a month, and that's how we got Black history. And I remember growing up as a child saying, now why did they pick the shortest month out of the year to honor our people? But I understand
Now
it
you
now,
understand
right?
it now. Yep.
But that kind of information is not available
books.
in schools.
That's
You
right.
know, but now, like you were saying, information is ubiquitous, so we can find out anything we want to, right?
Yes.
We just need to make sure that the source is valid, that the source is warranted, right?
Yes.
But there's all kind of information out there for us to reach. So we need to start educating ourselves, and that's where education starts. Not in the school. If you are a parent that thinks that school needs to fully educate your child, that is your first mistake. You need to take on responsibility of educating your child. My grandson can tell you right now, they wanted to get on their phones this morning. I said, we are reading a book first. Before you get to playing, we're going to sit down here and we're going to read this book. So education starts at home, right? And then back to the Black History millennial moment.
Yes.
I'm so amazed that I get to be alive to experience this, right? And in honor of that, I have curated a black tie invitation by stewardship experience that is designed to give this millennial moment the dignity, the reverence, and the excellence that it warrants. This is going to take place on February 8th. The doors open at 11 a.m. and our event is from noon to 2 p.m.
2026?
Yes, next month.
Next
Next month, we celebrate 100 years of Black history.
Wow.
It is a centennial moment.
Wow.
The first centennial moment, right?
Yes.
So that a century deserves more than acknowledgement. It deserves intention. So I have intentionally curated this amazing celebration.
Awesome.
I have invited everybody.
Yes.
I have invited the governor. I have invited all the senators. I have invited legislators. I have invited city council.
Awesome.
Because history is going to record who stood present. Right? And so I'm making sure that I put this out to everyone that wants to stand present, who wants to join us in this historic millennial moment. Multnomah County Commissioner Vince Jones Dixon, who, by the way, has made Black history because he is the first African American male Multnomah County Commissioner. He is going to issue a proclamation in honor of this 100 years of Black history commemoration. So this is, a big deal, right? This is a big, huge deal. Because we are 100 years later commemorating Black history in this country.
That date again. Give me that date again.
The date of my event is February 8th. 2026. Now, here's the easy way for everybody to remember. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Kickoff is at 3:30. My event ends at 2. That gives you a full 90 minutes to get home. So you come and celebrate our 100-year mark of commemorating Black history in this country, and then you go home and you root for your team, your favorite team. This is going to be a curated luncheon. It's black tie, so that because I need to give this the prestige and the dignity, right? I feel blessed to be able to be alive during this moment, and also to be a part of making history in Oregon in terms of inviting the commissioner to come in and issue this proclamation that will go into state history. It is going to be written into state history via a proclamation that we recognize 100 years of Black history in America.
Wow. Well, knowing you, I take it there's going to be a diocese there too. You think the governor and those folks?
I invited them. Because history is going to record who stood present. History will record who stood present. So I put that invitation out to all of them. No party, not beyond party lines. Right. Beyond party lines.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Super Sunday. I like that.
Super Bowl Sunday.
That's right. But the other thing that I like about this is the fact that there's always been a lack of interest and seriousness about Dr. King's Day.
Yes.
And just having these little functions, in all due respect, I got to say it in many ways, people just having functions to make a buck. And Black folks were thriving to go and participate, but not leaving with something that would improve their way of life.
Well, actually, for this year's
January
19th, this year's Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King tribute is the 41st year for World Arts Foundation.
Right.
World Arts now has a new president, Gwen Thompson. And so she is slowly making changes, right? The executive producer, Valerie Yvette Peterson, she is doing some amazing things.
Awesome.
When you say take away something,
yes,
she is implementing task in this program where you will take something away. There is a call to action. So there is, not that Mr. Berry and Mr. Chappie didn't do amazing all of these years. They started
it. They've kept it. They've kept it.
They have kept it. But they have, we lost Chappie, and Mr. Berry has, gave those reins up, and now Gwen Thompson is the president. Major Michael Jones, you
I know,
you
man. I
should
know Michael.
yeah
I know
you
Michael.
know
I
Michael
know
Jones.
Michael.
He is in charge. He's like the tip top, right? And I forgot his title.
Oh, okay.
His
Maybe that's
title
what he called
removes me
for, but
right
I
now.
haven't returned this call yet.
Yeah, so Major Michael Jones, he is the tip top, and then Gwen Thompson is right underneath him, and then
Oh.
they have a board.
Oh.
They're still building their board, and in terms of the Keep Alive the Dream program, they have a new executive
Oh, gee,
producer.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they're doing some amazing things. They're retrofitting the program to the era. So it's actually going to be an amazing program. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, let them know that we exist here, and I'd like to give them a forum.
Oh, I
to work for.
absolutely will.
Okay.
They would love
Boy,
that.
This is good. This is good news. That's
Yes.
that's why you got to be on here.
Yes.
That event has to happen.
Oh, yeah, every year. Yeah.
Okay. And we will definitely got to get that word out. Very, very, very important. And hopefully, that as you say, it starts at the top.
Yes.
And then hopefully the governor will be here, and hopefully the representation from Congress,
Yep.
both the Merkley and
And Wyden. Yep.
Get them
I
both.
invited all of
And
them.
get
All of the
them all.
Oregon State
Get-
senators.
get
They
them here
all
big
of
time.
them.
That's important. So
Yes, it is.
That diocese should reflect that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so we're at the beginning now, and thanks to you. And thanks
In part.
and thanks to Clara, because she's still looking.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, she's progressive with her. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So things are happening.
Yeah.
And you're in that education realm. Mm-hmm. Very, very important.
Yes.
Very important. And like I said, I've been doing this for a number of years, and it's kind of neat to have someone to be able to take the baton for things.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really excited about the future. I know that right now the country is hurting. We're
Yeah,
bleeding,
yeah. Yes, we are.
right?
Yeah.
But there is that song and that scripture that I always remember. Trouble may last at night, but joy comes in the morning. So the night can be a year, 3 years, or whatever that is, but there is always hope, right? Because if there weren't no hope, if hope was it disappeared, then nobody's gonna fight,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Dr. King wouldn't have been
That's
fighting,
right,
right?
that's right.
Harriet Tubman, who was on my
That's
shirt,
right, yeah.
she wouldn't
That's
have
right, that's right,
escaped,
that's right,
right?
that's right.
So hope is always there, and we just have to remember that we have to go through what we go through, but just know that hope cometh, right?
that's right.
It comes in, joy cometh in the morning. So
It's kind of interesting how we made this point, and Lincoln's name always comes up because he initiated that whole start.
yes, he did.
He made us all Americans, and but yet and still it never got into the school, and things like blacks were not allowed to even read.
Right. I just read an article in the state of Mississippi in the 70s, I want to say, the black students were outscoring the white students. Okay, and this alerted the superintendent and the school board. So what they did was they changed the testing to include questions that black students were not learning about, so that those numbers can drop. That's that systemic racism in education. It's those kind of things, right? That shows, oh, this group of students is higher or lower when we take these tests, but those tests are systemically biased, and that's where it was intentionally done that way. So the projection could be that there's a superiority there, right? So I think that if we really just care about education, that all the testing and all of those things should just be fair and equal.
Yeah, exactly,
right?
exactly.
Fair and equal, because it was already decided in this country that separate but equal is not constitutional, right? Brown versus Board of Education. So a lot of the tests and all of that is systemically already built in to favor a particular race. That's what it is.
Well, the other thing that you bring these things out to me. You bring things out to me. I think about SEI, Tony Hobson. How they made him a charter school of Portland Public Schools,
Yes.
and took all of the bright black kids in that entity, and not
Yes.
keep them, integrate
Into
them into Portland Public Schools.
Yeah.
I made mention several times, why don't you make him superintendent of the Portland Public Schools? And then Ron Herndon was the one that brought the first step. Black Studies.
Okay, yeah.
He bought it initially
Okay.
with Avell and all those folks.
Okay.
First,
All right.
see? And he's still trying to do the same thing.
Yes. Yes, he is.
See,
He's the
and-
one.
and
As a matter of
no
fact, Ron
recognition.
Herndon will be at
be there?
the. Yeah, they're
Awesome.
doing a fireside chat.
Awesome.
He's one of the people
Awesome.
that will be
and
speaking.
and in all due respect, get Tony there too. Because he's got a lot of history there
Yeah.
with reference to that charter. That charter should move, because in all due respect, it's supposed to be it's part of Portland Public Schools.
Yes.
But they never recognize it as such. It's like a separate entity.
Well, charter schools, they get the same. The public school funds go to fund the charter school.
I know.
And that's what I'm learning this.
I
That's
know.
what I'm
Okay.
understanding, because we have charter schools in Gresham also that do amazing work,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we just voted to approve to keep funding
Mm-hmm.
charter schools. But in terms of integrating them into public schools,
Well, I mean, I understand.
I don't-
I
yeah,
understand what's going on. 'Cause when
yeah.
I was going to school, we was all under one roof, right? You got me? And we participated accordingly. But it was as if this separation thing. And then, like I said, when I saw this piece in the paper about the fact that the reason why the reason why Portland Public Schools was far lacking than any other of the schools in the state of Oregon was because of the blacks, the black scores. It's insulting.
it is very insulting. And
See?
again, I
And I don't have the
explained to
time.
you.
And the only thing I can't say this in 3 minutes. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
it's very, very important. But maybe with this new era that we're talking to right now,
Yes.
so can take it. Then I don't have to deal with this thing.
Right. Yeah, we're going to take that burden off of you,
Please,
and we're going to
please.
keep the fight,
Please.
right? We're going to keep the fight going. But it's all, it's systemically
Yes, it
in
is.
the testing. It was built that way
Yes.
for one race
Yeah.
to have
Yeah.
superiority over the other. And people that are giving that information, I think they know this,
Yes, they do.
but they're counting on us to be ignorant to the fact of why that is, right? So when they give out these statistics about this and that, give the why, the real why. Give the truth of why that is. So, but let's go back to Abraham Lincoln.
Yes,
because
that's
I
what
know
I'm saying.
he's one of your
He started-
heroes.
Well, he started the whole piece.
Yeah.
It's part of the DNA. Somebody took it and shot him.
Yes, but let's remember why he did this.
Okay,
Okay, because in the
I can
1800s, when the Civil War began, it was over, do we remain a country with slaves, or do we return into an industrial revolution, the industries, the steel, the manufacturing? Do we, because a lot of people did not own slaves. It was like few that had big plantations, just so the rest of the country, as it's becoming building out, they're like, well, we don't want slavery. We want a fair chance to be a part of this country and help to build it. So that was the whole purpose of the war, right? Of like, do we retain slavery, or do we go and welcome in, usher in the Industrial Revolution? Well, although Lincoln had slaves, he still wanted the industrial. He was a forward-thinking
lawyer
person, right? He was a forward-thinking person.
Yeah.
So it was necessary. It was actually Frederick Douglass that told him, hey, get these allow blacks to get into the army and to help with this war, right?
Yeah.
And so that happened. And I believe that the reason why he abolished slavery initially was to cripple the South, was to cripple the Confederate States. Because if you mess with their money, then you break up their economy, then they're crippled, right? So I believe that he initially abolished slavery with his executive order, Emancipation Proclamation, which only applied to the slaves in the southern states. There were 5 states that did not have to release their
At
slaves.
the time, yes.
You know,
That was the deal.
yes,
That was
and
the
so
contract.
because they agreed to be a part of the America that Lincoln was building.
Yeah.
So he allowed them to keep their slaves, and then that's why it was necessary for the 13th Amendment to give to allow all of us to become free, right? So I feel like Lincoln, I'm very happy that he did this, right? That he made these moves. Yeah, I'm happy that he made these moves, but I don't know if it came from a humanitarian place or an economic place. So,
well, you know, in all due respect, that's you got to start somewhere.
yeah, for sure.
And then people started adding on.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. See, that's what this country was about. It was so progressive along that line. And when you talk about machinery and industrial, people were trying to think about how could I invent something to get some of that money that's going down south.
Exactly.
Eli Whitney came in with the cotton gin.
Exactly.
From the east, right?
Yeah.
So the name of the game is that it was all progression aspect of, but it was about the money.
Yes.
And the only
absolutely.
people that they could find to pick up that cotton and that tobacco, people with dark skin who could work in that climate.
Yes, for sure.
They were the cotton gin.
Yeah, they
People
were.
and they didn't want to give up their money.
Exactly. Yeah, why would they?
Yeah, you see what I'm
why
saying?
would they?
And in fact, when someone found out about what Lincoln was getting ready to do, offering these people freedom if they just crossed that Dixon line.
Yeah, that Mason-Dixon.
The Confederates started trying to get Buffalo soldiers too,
Yes.
in uniform.
Yes.
It's all on here. You
Yes,
can
it
tweet it.
is. Yes, it is.
And just bring another point in regards to what you were saying about the young folks today. Aspect of it. They just passed this legislation that says that they can't have these in school anymore.
Right.
Boy, if there was someone I wish I could invent it, to take just those stories about the history we're talking about right now, and then put them on separate phones, and let them take that to class.
Well, you know, a lot of schools they do have Chromebooks that have a lot of
I didn't know nothing about it, but I
yeah,
just thought
they have Chromebooks in the schools. They're using
because if
them.
they don't do something about this, let's say that was just passed, that they can't take it, then we're really going to have a problem with kids going to school.
Right. Well, the thing is, they can take them, but they're not supposed to use them. Like, because a lot of people will say, well, I need to reach my child. What if there's an emergency?
Yes.
So they can have them, but they just can't, like, walk through the corridors or have them on in the classrooms and that kind of stuff. At lunchtime, they're allowed to go across the street and use their phone, right? But it's just not to be used on the school property.
But
we're not having a problem with that, believe it or not.
You're not about that?
Gresham, I can't speak for Portland, but Gresham is not having a problem enforcing that. A lot of kids, you know, it's disruptive, you know, to have these phones in the classroom and people texting and calling, and some kids find that disruptive to learning. So that's not been reported as an issue thus far.
But you know, I'm on the other side. You know, I'm on the other side.
you're gonna play
I'm on the other
advocate.
side.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play advocate on this piece.
Absolutely.
Because I think a lot of those kids that are your vacancy thing, that's probably one of the issues, and it would increase that number because, in all due respect, young people are in the process. They're like boot camp. It's like a boot camp. They got to graduate from boot camp, and we're given certain tools, if you will. Got my point? Not the negative tools, but the certain tools. That's why I picked one up. But I said just something that they can use. Is all of a sudden, hey, I'm going to be able to go to class and I'll be able to use the phone, but you're going to direct them to something.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them don't pick up books.
Right.
They're not coming back from well-read parents in that era that we're in right now.
Sure.
We still got the Texas school up there.
Yes.
It's basically talking about blacks.
Okay.
That will not allow those studies to get into the classroom.
Yeah.
You got my point? So this is attractive. If you start talking about history, when you think about the Indians, Native Americans, there's a whole history on Native Americans that I learned that I never thought. I didn't think Geronimo existed until after the Civil War.
Well,
that wasn't
I
the
didn't
case.
even know that there were black cowboys
That's
growing
right.
up. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So that's why it's so important to celebrate our history and talk about our history,
Yes,
because
yes. This is
I
very
used to
important.
watch Bonanza,
Yes.
the something Valley, and
Yep.
there were never any representations of black cowboys. So
Right.
I would be thinking in my mind, where's the black people? Where were they? Well, they were right there, but they were being ignored. They weren't being reported on. So that goes back to my point that education starts at home.
Education.
It starts at home.
Education. You made the point about the cowboys and Indians. It said that now the Lone Ranger was a black.
I did
People
see
didn't
something
know.
about that.
Yeah,
I did see something
and I'm just
about
saying,
that.
we're getting it just unless you catch it every so often.
Right.
And sometimes when you're just scanning through this stuff, things happen.
Yeah.
I've learned so
You're
much
not-
about
oh,
Native.
yeah.
I've learned so much about Native American. Why I say it was so important for the whole nation, for that matter,
Yes.
and how they were eliminated.
Yes.
And it was all about the money.
Yep. Smallpox.
'Cause
They brought the smallpox. They brought the liquor. And like you said, it was about territory and money. I seen this young rapper talking about, somebody asked a rapper, why do you guys kill each other over territory?
Yeah.
And they said, his response was, we learned from the best.
Yeah.
Y'all came over here and killed off the natives
Yeah.
for the territory.
Yeah.
So, it's all relative.
And
It is
now,
all relative.
in all due respect, that's basically the pot of folks that we got here to begin with.
Yes.
And because we know they were totally disorganized.
Yeah.
They were incarcerated, the whole 9 yards. And we just plopped them over here and said, okay, fine, just send the good stuff back and keep on working.
Yeah.
If you can't work in that climate, go find somebody that can do it
Yeah.
and give them the money. So we've got that DNA, so to speak. But now that we recognize it, we can change.
Yeah.
We can make those folks more productive.
Yes.
Educate those folks about race and this, that, and the other. And be acceptable to open the door to deal with it. And like the event that you're talking to.
Yes.
Giving recognition.
Yeah.
And people will learn more.
Exactly.
People who are sitting as in those seats, if you will, those elected seats, who have been, i.e., looking at it from the standpoint of being the employers, and be a little bit more responsive, and make sure that education is in those classrooms.
Yes. But as you know, this current administration is banning books. Okay? So it is necessary. Again, I am a big proponent of education starting at home. You can teach your child much more at home than what he's going to learn at school. When we read, I'm like, do you know what that word means? It means this. Parents have to take an active role in educating their child. They have to want to care. Now, you might say, well, what about the parents that can't read, right? Well, there's programs that can help a parent learn how to read, get a GED or what have you. There are programs out there, and we need to have access to that information. But I am a big proponent of education starting at home.
I see that.
In the home.
And that's huge now, too, by the way.
Because and it's like, if you don't understand what is being, also know what's going on at the school. Because you don't know what they teaching your children.
And with AI coming up now, we got the AI piece.
Yes, we do.
And that's heavy.
Yes, it is. And it's taking AI might replace teachers. I don't know what's going to happen 50, 60 years from now.
Follow the money.
Yeah, right? Right?
So and I'm not saying no to anybody, people thinking, if you will, but they've got the resources to think.
Yeah.
And so they're making change based on their numbers.
Yeah, the numbers that they want to see.
But this country was built on numbers.
Oh,
the
yeah.
majority of the people are here, got me? Of all different races.
Yes.
So we got to start thinking. That's what we're doing now.
Yes.
We're thinking about that. We're not trying to say no to them to a certain degree.
No.
We're saying, no, this is a better way. Maybe you need to shelf that stuff in another way. But not this part.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And I think you always go back to the Lincoln piece. That's how it all started.
Yeah.
He was just happened to be an attorney, and he ran for office, and He said, well, okay, fine, I want to win. And this, next thing you know, he said, oh, well, gee, I got to win this war. Now, he just went over there and said, look, go down there and well, somebody came up with the business partner. It was a cultural group. Said, look here, well, we can get the ships and we can go down there and pay the chiefs because they're having these little wars all the time. Took advantage of them. Put them on the ship, brought them back here, got into the field.
Yeah.
And that's right. That's history.
Yes,
that's
it
American
is.
history.
It's history.
And we need to put it in the schools and teach these young people from day one.
Yeah.
What that history is about.
Right.
And that's where we're coming from. So this is thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the platform.
Well, won't you bring back this event that's coming up? Let's talk a little bit more about that.
Okay.
That'll be the end of the show. We got about 5 more minutes.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah. So this event is intentional because, like I said, a century deserves more than just acknowledgement. It deserves intention. So I have intentionally curated a black tie stewardship participation. I need companies to sponsor, right? I need companies to sponsor to help to give this experience the dignity, the reverence, and the excellence that it warrants. And again, we are going to have a formal proclamation by our own commissioner, Multnomah County Commissioner Vince Jones Dixon. So that part right there alone is history making history. It's like history right in your face. History live, history right there that you can witness by being there, right? So I hope that you still intend to come with the color guard and the flags, right? Because we talked about that, right? And I'm anticipating that happening right before the commissioner comes and presents and issues that proclamation that we have representation of the American flag, the Oregon flag, and the Juneteenth flag, right? So I'm hoping that you're still willing to do that. And then, there's some other things. There's going to be a briefing on York the Explorer that was never recognized with the William Clark expedition. They recognized Sacagawea, which I learned her name was pronounced Sacawea or something like that through the Oregon Black Pioneers. And so we're going to speak about York. We have someone doing some what do they call it? Poetic speaking about I can't think of the exact term, but she's going to speak about that. And so that's going to be an education part. And then a nice luncheon, Kitchen Killer, Kiara Hardy. And then there's some things that are going to happen that I can't give away because they're amazing.
I got you.
And it's like you got to be there to see it. But the whole thing will be recorded, from top to bottom.
Hopefully we can get the open signal to do
that would be amazing if we could do that, because this is historic.
Yes, it is.
This is a historic centennial, once in a lifetime, once in a century.
Yes.
Moment in history.
Awesome. Well, you got me.
Huge.
You got me excited, and right up front. But you're right. I'll make sure that flag is there.
Yes.
And we just happen to have an organization here, the National Black Veterans Association.
Yeah, that's what we talked about.
And see, right up front with you, he'll carry that flag in.
That is what we
that
talked
association.
about.
It's an awesome. There's a history there. You got my point? So I'll make sure that I get in touch with Napoleon.
Okay.
And then get in touch with you, and et cetera.
Yes.
And we'll go from there. We get that for you.
Yes, that's amazing.
And so let's see. What was the other thing I wanted to share? Wanted you to share with us, just a little about the Juneteenth parade. Are you still going to be doing that?
Yeah, the Juneteenth parade is going to be in its 54th year.
54th year.
And so, it's amazing because Clara May Peoples, she recognized it. It started in 72, but she brought Juneteenth to Oregon in 1945, right? With her when she came from Muskogee, Oklahoma. Came here and was surprised no one knew what Juneteenth meant. So she is the nationally recognized mother of Juneteenth, our own Clara Mae Peoples. She was a dynamo, right? And so, yeah, her granddaughters and her daughter, we are carrying on that tradition. She always wanted to celebrate Juneteenth on the waterfront, and I am trying to help to make that happen, because Pride is on the waterfront, Cinco de Mayo is on the waterfront. We're the only we're not on the waterfront. And that's Clara Mae. She was a forward thinker. She had a big mind, and she was thinking correctly. So I am working to try to make that happen, as long as I remain a part of the organization. Before I do whatever I'm going to do, I would like to be able to have it down on the waterfront. We don't need the whole waterfront. We can have a section of the waterfront.
It should be there.
Yes, it should. Every other entity is down there,
Well,
except for us.
like you said, Claire was a dynamo, because in all due respect, when I got back from Vietnam and I was assigned to Portland, Oregon, the Pacific Northwest, as a Marine recruiter in Portland, Oregon, Clara came to see me.
Yes.
And I've been involved with her ever since, along that line. Beautiful lady.
Yes.
And we'll continue to. She knew what that flag meant.
Yeah.
And she kept it out in the front. And the people, that when you think about the food bank, she created the food bank.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, we tried
Meals on Wheels.
We tried to get the food bank to change that name to People's Food Bank.
Yeah. Or even Meals on Wheels, because she was the lady rolling with food in her trunk.
Exactly.
Meals on Wheels.
Maybe we could revisit that again.
That would be amazing.
Because they do quite a job.
That would be amazing.
And get more people involved.
Yes.
Because we got a lot of folks who happen to be of African American descent that are having problems getting food. I mean, I deliver a few food because I'm the service officer with the National Veterans Association.
Okay.
Yeah, Vietnam vets.
Okay.
Vietnam vets, with vets and whatever. So this has been good. This has been good. Well, this has been exciting. I'm very excited to be at the table with you. I mean, you're a wonderful person, and I know you're dedicated, and I know you get your facts together.
Yeah.
You dot your I's and you cross the T's.
I do.
Boy, that makes me feel good. But thank you very, very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for this platform.
Well, thank you, and I'm looking forward to you taking that seat now.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
Heather, appreciate it. Okay, thank you very much, folks. We'll see you next week for another exciting. And as George Page always said, back to what you believe in. Take care.